One of the things I've really enjoyed partnering with the Canadian Mental Health Association is the sense of family that I've felt as I've touched different groups and worked with Kayla and David here, and it's been just a really great organization, and it's really aligned well with the run. And as David has said, it was the summer for us was just the journey of a lifetime. And so tonight I wanted to just unpack that a little bit. I'll tell you a little bit about the run and some of the fun things that I went through, but also just sort of help understand the spirit of what this run was all about, what it meant to us, and all the things that we sort of came through this summer, which was just incredible. So as was mentioned, it was a 1,600 kilometer from the top to the bottom. So symbolically, I wanted to touch both borders. So I stepped foot in the Northwest Territories July the 1st, and on August the 29th, I kissed the American border. And they didn't like that, but I still kissed it. They weren't happy to see me. The Canadians were happy when I came back, but the American Border Control was not super excited about me rolling in. But either way, I kissed the border. It was 60 days of running, and it was equivalent to about 38 marathons back-to-back. It's what my days encountered. It was 1,900,000 steps. These are for all the nerdy people that want the numbers. 225,000 calories burned. I got to eat 4,500 calories a day, which actually gets tiring after a while. I thought it was going to be, it was hard. I had to eat a lot of food just to recover, protein shakes and all that. I was eating all the time or resting. The goal, as was mentioned, was we set out with a goal to raise $20,000. And originally when I started planning this, what was told to me is, you know what, maybe you should set the goal for $10,000. And that wasn't by anyone in this room, for the record. It was some of the people that I was working with in Calgary, and they said, maybe 10,000. I don't know. And we said, nah, no way. We're going bigger than that. So as you heard, the number is significantly more than that, and we're really proud of that. And also, it was really about to share stories. As was mentioned, I'm an Alberta boy, born and raised in this great province, and I wanted to go across this province and share stories and capture stories from real people and see the province. I've never seen northern Alberta, so for me that was a really neat experience. I have 3 kids ranging from 9 to 15, and I wanted them to see this great province that we call home. And so this was a really great way to see it in slow motion. And it was one of those things where it was just so surreal what you're capable of doing when I step back and think about what we did. It's like, how in the world did I do that? There's a bigger message for me personally, and one of the things that I really thought about and why I did it was I refuse to be average. In our culture right now, I believe that there's this cultural norm that there's this box that we all have to fit in. And if you want to be accepted, you have to fit in the box. And you shouldn't leave that box. Because if you're struggling and you aren't in the box, you're not accepted. If you strive for greatness and you're out of the box, you're not understood. And I refuse to live in that box. And I refuse to be average, because that's not a place that I wanted to be. And I think as people, we grow the most through adversity and challenge and tough times. If everything is easy in our lives, we don't grow. And I think that's where this run started to really get me going, is I wanted to put myself in a position of adversity so that I could really stretch myself, really find out what I can work through, because I knew there'd be a bigger message for myself in this. We started on July the 1st, so Canada Day. Symbolically, I wanted to start on Canada Day. It took us about 18 hours driving up in our RV with 3 kids and dogs and our whole entourage to get to the top of the border. Lots of pee breaks, lots of eating breaks. We got to the Northwest Territories day 1, or we got there the 30th, the night before. We got out of the car and we were swarmed by horseflies. I didn't know these things. That was not a part of the plan. We got out of the camp and we were just getting eaten by horseflies, and that was the first thought to me is, oh my goodness. There is so much more that I didn't even think was going to be part of this challenge. So we got out, we camped the first night, and we had this camp. At the Northwest Territories camp, there's like 8 stalls. That's it, no power, no nothing. And if you could imagine the man that would run the Northwest Territories park, the camp leader guy with the suit and the thing and the hat and the little golf cart, that's the guy. That was our guy. He's like, welcome. He was so excited to see us, and he had the trailer, and He knew we were coming because we booked the thing. He was so excited. And he was just so friendly. He's like, oh, it's so awesome what you're doing. And we had a great chat with him that night. In the morning, he came over first thing, and he said, we made cake for you guys. It's a cake. I want you guys to come sign my guest book. He said, I met Terry Fox years ago, and you're just like Terry Fox. This is so awesome. We're taking pictures at the border. And the whole time, I was like, no, I can't even compare myself. No, I was so humbled by that. But then I thought about that all summer. And what resonated for me was, as people, I believe we're afraid of our own greatness. It's so much easier to live in that box, to be average, to fit in, to play your hand small, than it is to step out in greatness. And I thought about that a lot. And there's a quote that I really, really like, and it says, our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that scares us. And I believe that. And I think that so many of us struggle with our mental wellness because we're so afraid of stepping out of that box. I remember just getting close to Lethbridge we had to run down Highway 3 and it was so busy. I got hit in the back of the head with a rock one day, and I was just like done. There was so many things like that. I had shin splints 2 weeks into the run, and I've never had that before, and I had to work through that. And there was days when every single step sucked. It was so hard some days. And then there was some days when you felt invincible. And I felt like that was the real connection for me of running to my mental health. And as someone that has struggled with depression and anxiety, I really made a connection myself this summer to that. And so, some days every step does take a lot. It takes a lot to move yourself forward. But that was the one thing that kept getting me through this summer was just keep moving forward. And I said to my wife a few weeks into the run is, I'll crawl across Alberta if I have to, but I'm not quitting. I wanted to really give people a voice and a platform to share their stories because I never wanted this to be about me. I didn't want this to be about Ian Ammon running. I wanted people to look at the run and go, I didn't want them to go, man, this guy's crazy. I wanted to go, wow, look in the mirror. Where am I playing my hand small? Where am I downplaying my life?